Hey, FlimsyLunchTray here, and welcome to our Saturday edition video. Today's video is basically me going to be critiquing my gameplay, and I think I'm going to be trying to critique more of my positioning here in this battle, on randoms battle. So, nothing too exotic. I mean, this isn't like a mind-boggling, amazing, epic damage game. It's pretty like straightforward. And so with that, I thought, let's just feature this one today. Also because I woke up really late. I'm back in Norway now, and the jet lag, I slept like 11 hours through all my alarms, so we're getting a late start on this Saturday, but at least I hope for you it's going rather well. So here we are on Sea of Fortune. We are top tier in the Vermont, and the Vermont is the newest Battleship tech tree line that has gone through a good number of changes since this ship line was introduced here into the game. I remember when this line first came in with the Kansas, Minnesota, and Vermont. It didn't. A lot of people like the brick smash feature per se, but she had a lot of things that she suffered and struggled with. One of the things I actually remember that was most humorous in thinking about when the ship was first introduced was there was this meme of an ice resurfacer, and or Zamboni, and that's what also you refer to it as, and it's Flamu sitting on top of it, his meme, like his face put on laughing, and then it's just then you see someone trying to crawl away. I don't know what movie it's from, and it's just like Vermont trying to disengage. And that's really, I think, one of the most, maybe the most punishing things about this ship is if you extend too far forward and then just get caught out. Yeah, you're just, let's say, screwed. So here we have a Harlem going broadside. So I let him have the first salvo. As we take a pretty good hit there from the Massachusetts, and I'm bringing my rear guns around to finish him off. 2 citadels, 2 penetrations. I've slept really good. So anyhow, stop laughing. So yeah, I promise this isn't like an amazing damage smashing game. We just had a really fun start here with Brick Smash. But so what did they do when we talked about these changes to make this line a little bit more relevant? And that was back in update 11.5, where they went through some branch changes. And particularly with the Vermont, what they did is they the reload time of the repair party consumable, they reduced it from 80 to 40 seconds. And then the amount of HP restored by the consumable from the damage received to Citadel, including torpedoes hitting the Citadel area, was increased from 10 to 50%. The casemate side armor, they increased from 38 to 51 millimeter. They changed the engine parameters. The acceleration for forward and reverse was significantly improved, where you could actually, in a Vermont like 16 kilometers away, completely like throttle juke. Something you'd think there's more for maybe some of the British battleships and cruisers and destroyers, you actually begin to be able to do with Vermont. The detectability by ships, they reduced from 18 to 16. You're like, Flimsy, stop. Why are there all these buffs? And then they also, what they did was the parameters of the main battery shells, they changed for to better match the updated concept of the branch, is how they phrased it. And basically what that means is they increased the flight time of the projectiles over longer distances, so it took a longer time for if you take some long salvo fire. They increased the armor penetration at close range, and they reduced armor penetration at long distance. So that's a bit of a nerf, per se, to the main battery, but you got a lot of things that traded off with the ship rather well. So I said I was going to talk about positioning, okay? So we started off, we got finished off that Tier 8 Harlem, and now I'm looking for opportunities to be able to shoot this Massachusetts, which is doing a really good job in keeping the island in between me and him, because I'm trying to help our Kremlin out here. But we see the Bayard, and I'm like, never mind. And so I'm like, is this Massachusetts going to keep pushing forward? And I probably, critiquing my gameplay, because that's where I really want to focus on this one. I should have raised the shot a little more. Yeah, see, 5 ricochets for penetrations. We aimed too low. We should have gone more into the superstructure of the Massachusetts. So that was definitely my bad. And part of what I'm going to be critiquing a little difficult in terms of the positioning in this game is that you have these different players who are just one by one kind of accelerating forward. And I'm trying to tell Kremlin to keep reversing so I can brick smash Massachusetts, because I'm afraid he wants to get the ram off here. And you can actually see he's shooting over the Kremlin to shoot the Cleveland that's next to me. But we do take him out, and so, you know, he was revealing enough side to us there in that regard. One of the things that I was thinking about with this ship is a little difficult, is that it's always easy to angle in this ship because Vermont's just round. You can if people are going through your belt and you've angled away versus maybe them going for your bow or stern. Like, if you look, you can kind of see how much the ship rounds in when we're looking a little bit more closer at it. And in general, my view on Vermont is I think I still have more to learn and do better with this ship. Part of it is, I think, the meme I referenced in the beginning. If I actually, hopefully I put the picture there if I still have it. I think I do. And if it's like you just go to overextend yourself too far forward, I've been punished like multiple times in Vermont, and so I've kind of learned my lesson in that, and then I just drop back. But then now here you can see I'm pretty irrelevant in this position. You know, we're trying to see if we can get some shots on this Zal, who's showing enough side where we could potentially smash him here. And, you know, I was like, oh, if I had spotter plane, that would have been maybe a little more helpful there. And trying to guesstimate maybe where this Zal's going. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, I think we underled him. No, not really. We did pretty good. It's 16K, my bad. It just looked different from that angle. So basically now I need to be pushing back in. Probably should have done that already sooner. Like, I could have got a shot off on the Zal while I was already repositioning to move in further forward. Now there's a lot of pressure on the enemy team. You know, this is like, yes, it's basically a blowout match. But the enemy team is fighting back. They do get the kill on the Kremlin there, so it's giving them some more points, so they're a little more comfortable there. Try to go for the Slava. I'm like, oh, I think Slava wants to turn back in maybe. And I had to aim a little further behind, I think, than I wanted to because of the island there. But trying to see if we can't sneak in the salvo. And we get 10.3k out of him. So between the positioning and then also that you have to be very mindful of when you decide to pull the trigger on these guns. Depending on the build and what you've done, you know, you're looking at a 40-second reload time, right? I take the artillery plotting room for negative 11% maximum main battery shell dispersion in the 6th slot, because I quite like that. And, you know, now this game's basically wrapping up. 2 overpins, 1 ricochet. But I think with Vermont in general, there we go. I critique myself here. I should have used a defensive AA and then prioritized my AA sector. I did it reverse. You'll get more damage if you turn on your defensive AA fire and then prioritize your AA sector. You'll get more damage that way. And here this Zal is still teasing me with showing me a lot of side from time to time. So I'm trying to get some shots in there, but I decided to go for the blind fire as well. And we don't do too bad there. We get 5 of the 6 shells in that last first salvo. And we're playing with our throttle. I'm gonna go ahead and heal. Honestly, I don't really need to heal here. Sometimes with Vermont, you actually don't want to heal if you're in an okay, comfortable position, just so you can have a faster main battery reload. If you have Adrenaline Rush, which I do run Adrenaline Rush on Vermont, so I didn't really need to use the heal there, so I'm going to lose some time in the reload. But also, the Colossus is starting to focus in on us, and we have this Montana pushing up on us, so I think that's kind of why I decided to. But I think it would have been okay to have just waited a little longer before utilizing the heal. The Slava is turning in, so we don't get as much damage as maybe we would have wanted there. So we're gonna see now we're disengaging, and you don't disengage very fast, right? We just got up to 22 knots there, then I slow down, accelerate again, and now if I would have had a salvo loaded, that would have been like a pretty nice one to have on that broadside Montana as he goes back in behind the island. So there's a lot of islands in the middle of this map. It can be kind of frustrating map to play, I think, with Vermont in general. So if you don't position so well, but it's just been a very odd match. Unfortunately, just our team doing a lot better than the enemy team. So here we take another shot on Slava. I'm trying to go for underneath the main battery guns, if I remember correctly here. And 11k, still some non-pins there, just because some of that is angled when those shells hit the mid section of the ship on the hull. But we'll just continue to sit here, see if we can get some more damage. But this Montana is about to go down, and that's going to bring the game to a close, and 0 pointing out the enemy team. So, and they take out, Marcel takes out Montana, Slava takes out our Marcel. So again, not a major crazy game, but I haven't featured, this is the only second game I've ever featured with Vermont. I haven't played it, I play it from time to time, but just featuring it on the YouTube channel, not so much. So, 148,000 damage. You can actually see this battle is all the way back from last year. Wow, that was that long ago. I didn't even recognize that it had been so long. But it was a really fun start to the game with that Death Strike on the Harlem. And we're actually, even though it didn't feel like maybe we did a lot, we still get second on the team with the sub player, the Gato, most overpowered submarine in Warships, with the XP modifier buff. He's going to place top on the team, which he did get 2 kills. Here you can see layout of the damage. We didn't actually use any high explosive that entire battle because armor piercing is really good. High explosive is great if you end up running into subs and destroyers. Of course, you should be using high explosive rather than the armor piercing on Vermont in such cases. And not too much credits earned there here at tier 10 with premium account. So I have. This is me making a YouTube video in March saying I have much more to learn, I think, a bit with Vermont. She's kind of an interesting battleship. I mean, I like playing the brawling battleships, and I have to tell myself, Vermont is definitely not a brawler, and that she's that mid-range to long-range battleship. So it can be frustrating to play, especially when you are that longer range. Let's say you're 17, 18 kilometers out, and you're trying to land those sweet, tasty salvos on a broadside cruiser, but he's aware, sees your salvo coming, and he throttles jukes, or just simply turns out from the course he was on. So that can be, it's a mix. You have some very satisfying salvos, and other salvos is just like, ah. But I think that's really the Vermont experience, if I'm being honest. So, not a super long video today, but I hope you liked it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Subscribe if you want to see more. If you ever subscribe, thanks so much. I really appreciate it. And for those of you who support me on Patreon, you have my utmost thanks. So until next time, take care.